22. It's crazy to think that The Walking Dead is on episode 1121 on AMC Plus. AMC will be 1120 tonight, again a week ahead. But we're getting there, guys, and we'll wait for the stream to catch up and everything to connect with us, guys. So hopefully you guys are being safe and sound and you're doing well, getting ready for Halloween, then Thanksgiving, then December. And it's crazy to think that The Walking Dead will be over November 20th. So less than a month away, The Walking Dead is over. The Walking Dead main show. And that's weird to say because we're getting spinoffs, we're getting extra stuff. It's probably not going to feel like a true ending, in my opinion, right? Hey, Negan1, how we doing? So we'll just wait for more people to join. It usually takes about a minute or so, and we'll talk about the Walking Dead universe. So I also believe that The Walking Dead Dead City, which is like kind of a little crazy to say, Walking Dead Dead City, finished their season. The recording is done. Season 1 in the books. Not sure if we're getting a season 2 or what the plan is for Maggie and Negan. But I'm excited to see what's going to happen next April, I believe, is when that comes out too. So Jonathan Wilder, Q&A. What's up, Bry? So nothing really much. Was doing house stuff, digging up some dirt and stuff outside. Just watched, some different shows that we need to catch up on. The Walking Dead, of course, this morning. And, so House of the Dragon ends tonight, the first season. Walking Dead, Season 11, Episode 21 on AMC+. Plus. Season 11, Episode 20 on AMC. Other than that, we're watching the show The Watcher on Netflix. That it's based on a true story in Westfield, New Jersey, about a house and a couple and this and that. A little crazy. I'm from New Jersey, even though I'm from South Jersey. Westfield is North Jersey, closer to New York City. I was much closer to Philadelphia. But it's pretty interesting to see, where that story's going. So if you got the Netflix, definitely check it out. Jonathan Wilder, I talked about Halloween Ends last live stream. And, Halloween Ends, I saw it, that weekend. It was okay. It was an ending. It was kind of, I don't know, not much to it. It was a way to end the series or the movie, and then we'll see how it picks up. Because I doubt the franchise is actually over. It may be ending with those people, but we'll see how it ends. Diana Glenmeyer, hi, Bri, how you doing? I'm doing okay. How are you, Diana? Beverly, The Watcher is a show on Netflix it's based on a true story. It's about a couple that buys this house in Westfield, New Jersey, and all this stuff happens. They're getting letters in the mail. The neighbors are weird. Some kooky stuff is happening here. Some stories are happening there. Is the town in on it? I didn't finish it yet, so I don't know how it ends. But I'm going where I think we got like 2 or 3 episodes left. I forget which episode we're actually on because I try to watch one episode a day because I think it's 7 episodes. So I watch one episode a day for 7 days to stretch it out a little bit, unless it's really great and that is captivating and that. But I kind of like to have a little bit longer in the story and just stretch it out is the best way. I don't like to watch it all in one day or in a weekend. I try to, like I said, stretch it out. So, Lupe's Cooking Channel. 3 episodes left. So we got 22, 23, and 24, which is crazy. So I've enjoyed Season 11, Part 3. Diana, The Watcher is definitely worth watching. It's got some good cast in it. Naomi Watts is in it. The one guy from Ant-Man, it's not Paul Rudd. It's the other guy that was like the boyfriend of the mom or something after Paul Rudd, left a picture with that family. He's been in a bunch of different things. I don't even know his name, but he's the dad. The son and daughter, really no names. The police officer is Shooter McGavin from Happy Gilmore. And they got a bunch of different, actors all over the place. And it's really good. It's definitely worth watching. I recommend it for sure. Jonathan Wilder, Q&A. Did you enjoy Did you enjoy the WWE edition of The Walking Dead on last week's episode? What do you mean, John? I don't know what you're talking about. But so overall, The Walking Dead is coming to a close. Like everyone keeps writing, 3 episodes left. Only 3 episodes left, 22, 23, and 24. I think it's something that They need to be awesome because episode 21 was a slow burn. It's not a bad episode, but it's not a great episode either. Not much happens at all. And it's setting things up for 22, 23, and 24. I'll get into that. I'll talk about some spoilers in the last, 45 minutes of the stream. But we'll keep it kind of general right now for another 10 minutes. But the Dead City, I believe, has finished recording. And it's done. The first season is what they said, is what people are saying. So I don't know if Jeffrey Dean Morgan is going to start filming The Boys then, because I know the rumor is that he was trying to get on the third season, but now I think the word is that he's going to be on the fourth season. So it'll be interesting to see Jeffrey Dean Morgan, be back with the guy from Supernatural, Jensen Ackles, which would be cool to see somehow, some way, if they actually have scenes together or not. I don't know. But I think Jeffrey Dean Morgan is great in a lot of things he's done. I liked him in a lot of different movies and stuff that I've seen him in. I didn't watch, what was he on, ER or something? I didn't watch that. But I've watched, the different stuff that, or maybe Grey's Anatomy or something. What was Jeffrey Dean Morgan in? What was the medical show he was in? I never watched either show, so I don't know. But I think it's a great thing that the people from the Walking Dead universe are getting other stuff out there. And overall, season 11, part 3 is really good. Grey's Anatomy, as soon as I said ER, I was like, that can't be right. But Grey's Anatomy. I wasn't a Grey's Anatomy fan. I was a House fan. The two medical shows, like Grey's Anatomy to me always felt like the soap opera stuff with the doctors and the nurses and the drama and all this other stuff. And House definitely had that. But when I was actually in PT school, House was at its peak, going on for that. And I think it actually ended right when I was ending my PT school, because it's 3 years, physical therapy school, for those who don't know. But House was a better medical show in my opinion, and I just loved, Hugh Laurie as the House. He was great. It was pretty amazing. Jonathan Wilder Q&A. There was a 1 minute wrestling match before Max and. Well, that was episode 18, man. That was a while ago, the WWE episode. So, yeah, it was pretty cheesy. The wrestling was pretty bad. I just kept watching him. The dude in the Commonwealth outfit was all in red. And I understand the Commonwealth colors are red, but it's definitely something they could have chosen and picked whatever they wanted, because the Walking Dead comics are in black and white. The covers are in color. So you can choose whatever you want for the show, and the show is the show, and the comic is the comic. That's for sure. So I just kept looking at that and the wrestling and the reactions of the fans and the crowd and all that other stuff too. But yeah, so now I know Sean. But that was a couple episodes ago, and it didn't really bring much to the story. What really happened was when Sebastian got bit and then taken out, and that was kind of the cool part as well. Let me see. I'm not going to butcher your name. I'm sorry. Do you think if the CRM is not linked with the Commonwealth, they are at least aware of their presence in Ohio? I think so, right? I mean, I think Gimple said that how do the Commonwealth and CRM not know about each other? I would assume if they don't show us connections, it's really stupid. Like, what are you doing? Why build up the CRM stuff, Jadis, Rick to go away, helicopter stuff, just dumb stuff like that? They're not connected. We had a whole show about CRM. It's in the Walking Dead universe. The main people care about the Walking Dead. Some people care about Fear the Walking Dead. Some people care about World Beyond. Some people care about the spinoff. Some people care about Tales of the Walking Dead. Some people care about this. But the majority of us, everybody, I would say, cares about the Walking Dead and those things. Right? So I'm thinking that if CRM doesn't show up, and they have yet to show up with major connections, with the outfits, with anybody that makes sense, it just is dumb. Like, so you brought this in to take Rick away? You brought this in to have a 2-season show? I don't know. It's just something that... And we're running out of episodes, right? Like, as I'm watching episode 21, and there's no connections with CRM, potentially there is. Well, I'll talk about that again during the breakdown of it a little bit. But we have to beat around the bush and, well, maybe this happens. Maybe that happens. Maybe this is an outpost. Maybe they know each other. Maybe Mercer knows their people. Maybe Lance knew people. Maybe Pamela Milton knows people. Maybe this, maybe that. Still don't know. So, I mean, there's a lot of characters left. There's a lot of story left on the table for 3 remaining episodes. It just feels like, I don't know, like we need more episodes. It's unless they do something drastic where it makes sense. Snake Plissken, sorry PT to disagree. I feel this was another epic episode. Great. If you like the episodes, great, man. Great. I'm not here to tell you whatever. Disagree, don't disagree, whatever. But what really happened in the episode? Nothing really. Nothing. Right? Like, to me, I'm watching it and I'm like, when are we going to get to the stuff that happens here and there and whatever? It's a setup episode. And I can't help to think about it being like, wow, we got 3 episodes left. We got to have the Eugene trial. We got to see Oceanside again. We got to see, the war with the Commonwealth. We got to see what happens with our group taking the communities back. And I just feel like it's just going to be like, that's how you end it? Like, it's just going to happen so fast. And we have to get there and we have to see, but that's just how I feel right now. And I really don't want it to feel like, man, we need like another 8 episodes or another 4 episodes or 2 episodes or whatever, right? So it's all right. Like I said, so this is funny. Like, so Snake Plissken and whoever will say that they disagree with me. I said the episodes was good, but it was like a lackluster episode. I don't think it was that amazing. The bike pursuit, that was pretty cheese if you ask me. But there was just certain things, like nothing really happened in it. There were moments that were good and moments that talked about it. But again, it's like it just feels like we're doing stuff to kind of wrap it up. We're running out of story, run out of time. And I got to hand in my assignment. Wait till the last minute, like do bulk of the assignment. Procrastinate, wait, I got time, and then you're like, oh, wait, I got to hand it in tomorrow, and hand it in. Done, right? So, I don't know. But overall, guys, so in the 17, 18, 19, and 20, we got a lot of good story setting things up. So that was the first 4 episodes. And then you got 21, 22, 23, and 24. So you got the 4 episodes. So if you break up the 8 episodes into 4 and 4, they tend to break things up like that as well. So the big thing is that the Commonwealth is the government breaking people into classes, high society. I still don't understand how cash means anything, right? Like, who cares? You have $1 billion in your house. It makes no difference to me. I don't want your money. I want food, water, chickens, animals, eggs, guns, ammo, whatever, a house, electricity, pillows, whatever. You want things, goods and services, trading them, bartering them, skills and services, whatever it is, like working on things makes much more sense to me than them having like a bunch of money in there too. Like when Sebastian was like, oh, I have an allowance, I got to make money. Like, who cares? What does Sebastian bring to the table? Like, Pamela Milton's the leader and she's the governor and she runs things there, and that's great. So you can have status and wealth and power and the ability to control things. But if there's 50,000 people, Pamela Milton's 1, Sebastian's 2, and Mercer runs the Commonwealth Army, the troopers, like, it just doesn't make sense to me too. And then we're eventually going to have the uprising and the revolution and the resistance and happening there too. It just kind of feels like a little disheveled a little bit. And, I understand what they're doing with the story and with there. And it's cool. And it's good to see. Like I said, don't get me wrong. I'm not hating on it. I'm enjoying it. So it's funny how people see things, over my 7+ years on YouTube and in life. If someone isn't 100% positive, well, you're negative, bro. You could say 98,000 things positive and 2 things negative, and some people are like, yeah, dude, if you don't like it, don't watch, bro. What are you doing, bro? Stop watching, man. You don't have to watch. And you're like, The Walking Dead is not a perfect show. It hasn't been a perfect show ever, and it'll never be a perfect show. so many majority of shows are not perfect. They have terrible seasons, terrible episodes, terrible writing, terrible things, but then amazing things too. Right? Like a lot of shows have great seasons, good seasons, a bad season or a bad episode. Right? Like the Breaking Bad. That series is great from start to finish. And the one episode I think was terrible is the Fly episode. Nothing happened in there. And if you saw the series, you know, that's all I got to say. The Fly episode. You know exactly what episode I'm talking about because it was so bad. And it turned the corner and this and that with Walt in the lab and all this other things. But it was one episode out of so many seasons. Better Call Saul, same thing. All that stuff too. And I'm a supporter of those. I love that. If I didn't feel like talking about The Walking Dead or being part of the Walking Dead universe and community, it just would have stopped. You know, like it just would have stopped talking about it. I got a million other things going on right now too that I don't need to talk about, but I still love the Walking Dead universe. That's for sure. And how about you? So let's talk about some spoiler stuff, guys, potential spoilers for it. So for the next 45 minutes, we're going to talk about all 17 to 21 episodes, 17, 18, 19, and 21. And then we'll talk about 22 as well because of the trailer for next week's episode too. So let's just kind of just what comes into my mind. So 17 was, you know, the Commonwealth kind of has some problems and Sebastian is still a pain and this and that. And people are trying to find Sebastian. And then they find Sebastian and they make Lance the scapegoat. So Lance was the scapegoat for Sebastian, which has got to be annoying and really piss Lance off or whatever too, right? Like, I got to do this thing. So Sebastian ends up dying because of Max and Eugene, which was a nice twist, right? I didn't see that coming because if you're a comic reader, you would think like Sebastian is going to kill somebody, right? He's going to kill a character that we know and care about. And, well, he can't now because he got bit in 11-18. And if you notice, there's a lot of similarities to Woodbury and the governor and the walker that's eating so-and-so, which was Greg Nicotero inside downtown Sonoy. The governor comes in, kills the walker, and walks away. It's kind of similar to what Judith did. She didn't walk away, but she killed the walker, and it was kind of a thing like that too inside that community. Also, Penny was the governor's daughter who he kept alive. Pamela Milton kept Sebastian alive as a walker. So there was nice little nuances, Easter eggs, callbacks. I just love those things. I love when there's those things as well. And I guess the governors do that. They have, well, we don't know if Penny was bad or not. She just was a walker that was kept in the, I guess, little spot that Michonne ended up. So Michonne ended up putting her down, and Daryl ends up putting Sebastian down. Walker Sebastian. And so could they have saved Sebastian? For sure. Did they? No. They decided to go the route of Sebastian getting bit, and now Eugene is going to be in trouble for that. Eugene did push the walker into Sebastian. So it was Sebastian was going to kill Max by the walker. So what if Max died? Would Sebastian be in trouble? Of course not. Because Sebastian is a punk. He's the the son of Pamela Milton, the person in power there, right? But Eugene, Sebastian, Max did all that. So in 11/22, we'll see, I guess, the trial, part of the trial, some of the trial. I guess it has to be the whole trial because we're running out of episodes. For Eugene, Yumiko is going to represent Eugene, and we'll see what happens there. I would assume that Eugene gets broken out, saved, rescued, pardoned, whatever you want to call it, by Mercer and Max. And that starts the war and the problems and all that too. Yumiko will probably end up being Judge Yumiko at the end of it, just like Judge Michonne, but Michonne's not around, so that's not happening too. So Eugene takes the fall for everything. And I love the idea of Eugene stepping up, and when he was hiding out, it was really funny when he was trying to fight Dow. He's like, "All right, Hoss, you don't want none of this. You don't want none of this." And Dow just looks at him like, which is great. And I'm glad they didn't fight. It was funnier that way too, right? Noobster, hey, Brian, the voice on the walkie-talkie when Maggie was talking at the end of the episode, my son was like, that sounds like Michonne. No, it's not Michonne. I believe it was Yvette Nicole Brown, because if you look at the special guest or whatever on there too, Yvette Nicole Brown was on there, and it's actually Rosita on the radio talking to someone from the Outpost, and it's not Michonne. But I'm sure that'll be a theory in a video, and I'm sure someone's going to talk about it on there too. And I'm sure there's a lot of different crazy theory videos out there as well. I used to like them, but we're running out of episodes, so it's like, man, I'm not really going to start doing that stuff as much as I feel like there too. The bigger question I have is Oceanside has yet to be found. Henry, sorry, do you think Annie will die in episode 22? I think she dies this season. Is it in episode 22? Maybe, because we do see that Annie and Negan were separated by the dude running the, I don't know, hard labor camps or whatever. So I think, well, if Annie dies, why does Negan go with Maggie? It makes more sense if Annie gets captured. But that being said, Annie is one of my picks for the Red Theory. I think there is a possibility that she dies, for sure. Yeah. So Jeannie says, Oceanside going to save the day as they do. A big surprise. Well, we haven't seen that. It hasn't happened yet, but that is my theory as well, too, about the saving of Alexandria on there as well. So Lance is saved by Daryl and Carol, which is cool. Yeah, still no sign of dog, Fred Davis. Yeah, no sign of dog. That's true. I guess dog was taken by the Commonwealth, I guess is what we're going with, too, is what we're supposed to believe. Right. Jonathan Wilder, what if Father Gabriel went with Jadis on the helicopter? Then I guess we would have seen him on World Beyond or something there as well, but he was forced into a relationship with Rosita, which feels very forced. And then if you watch the inside the episode, Angela Kang says that Father Gabriel and Rosita broke up. But when did they break up? Was it really known? Or were we supposed to just think about it? Or was we supposed to accept it? Was it kind of hinted at? I don't know. They just kind of glanced over that in the story too. So, but so Lance is rescued by Daryl and Carol. In that same episode, Carol and Daryl give Lance a chance to walk away. They take out the Commonwealth people that were coming after them, the troopers, and Lance tries to take a gun and shoot at Carol and Daryl, and Carol puts an arrow in his neck. So that's the way episode 20 ended. In episode 21, we don't see Lance. We don't see Walker Lance. We don't see possible variant Walker Lance. We saw the variants in the previous episode with Jerry, Aaron, Elijah, and Lydia, who are going to Oceanside. Still haven't seen it. Nothing to do with that. Oceanside, I'm guessing, will show up in episode 22 to save the day, help things out, tell everybody what happened. And maybe Aaron, and I don't know. We still have to wait to see that. We haven't really seen what happened with them as well. Beverly says, at PT, the A on the train car in season 4 finale makes sense now. Gareth and Terminus must have been trading people also, or at least known it was happening because he also painted a red A on the church. Yeah, I mean, well, I guess we're going with there's just no way to tell if the Commonwealth traded and did anything, or Jadis and the CRM traded with Terminus. It would have been a great way to have that. I doubt CRM and the Commonwealth was any notion in the story at all in season 4 and 5 with Terminus and that. It didn't really need to be worked on that. It was something that the story was still really good at that time point as well. Henry Lamone, do you think we will see Lance again as a walker? I do. I do think we'll see Henry. I think we'll see Lance as a walker, and it would make sense. It would be forced, but it would make sense where we're going with some of the walkers that he could be a variant walker. It would make sense too. And the variant walkers are cool. They're cheesy. They make sense. They don't make sense. It's like everything. Like they're forcing it down our throat now. It would have been great, and I stand by it, with the Walkers and the Whisperers. And it would have been great if we saw them before trying to get over the walls of Alexandria. Just like the Lurkers and the whatever thing where they would fall asleep and then they'd wake up and you'd walk by them and that's how Herschel got bit or whatever, I don't really care about the Walker idea, the lore, the universe of the Walkers. It's very minor. It's like just being like, you could replace the Walkers with werewolves or vampires or a plague or whatever. Like it doesn't matter. That's just the cause of it. The story, the people, the genre, or the stuff that goes on with the people and the just different things that make the story good is the people stuff. Not so much the Walkers are cool, don't get me wrong, especially with the prosthetics and the different kinds. To me, the most iconic one is the Well Walker, Teddy Bear Girl, Bicycle Girl, all that. But that hasn't been seen since season 2. Like, some of the Walkers have been great. They had the stuff growing out of the Walker's face, and it would have been kind of cool to see for different things. But it's just something that. So Lance coming back as a Walker makes sense. I'm guessing Pamela Milton and whoever will see him and find him, the arrow in the neck. But I still think he would have fired a shot. You still could have had some motor control with it. Yeah. But so this episode 21 starts with the convoy of buses and vehicles and Jeeps and motorcycles, and they're driving at night. I don't know why they're driving at night, but it's just the whole idea of them being dramatic with it, I guess, right? So Maggie was captured. She is able to lean forward and her hood falls off, because previously the episode ends with Ezekiel being on the bus and they drug them, which I'm like, that's kind of crazy. What are they drugging them with, and how much drugs do they have left to be able to do that? I don't know. But everyone's tied up. They're able to take off their hood masks or their hood things, whatever. And you see that Negan is on the bus, Annie is on the bus, Kelly is on the bus, and Ezekiel's on the same bus. Annie is actually separated from Negan on that because the guy in the black outfit, which I think could be CRM because he's rocking all black, he points at people and tells them to get off the bus and help whatever they're doing there. And then Negan, Ezekiel, and Kelly are on a separate location too. So, yeah, it makes sense, Dragon, that is drugs from the opium farm. It makes the most sense for that. So they're drugging them up with opium, which would be terrible. So they're going to make them dependent on that. So unless it was a variation of it or a modified version of it or whatever, but you're basically putting on them a substance that makes them addicted to it. I don't know. Unless it's just, like I said, a different way of doing it. But again, it's just something that we have to go by because it's in the story. And then, but we see Maggie takes off her hood and she looks around and she's in the back of a military truck. And we see the Commonwealth trooper is sleeping in the back. Like, these Commonwealth troopers are dumb, stupid, weak. Just take them out easily, right? To me, they're just so much like stormtroopers. They're going to fit in where they need to fit in. Just like walkers now, right? For a long time, the walker stuff was just like, yeah, throw it in a little bit when we need it. Now the Commonwealth troopers are like, well, they'll get taken out or they'll cause this, and they'll just have some gruesome deaths and stuff with it as well. Jonathan Wilder, if Luke is going to die, that means Luke's probably not going to die. I would assume we'll see Luke again, and Luke survives. We'll see him again. Maybe he dies in the war, in the battle. Not really war, the battle, but we'll see him again. He didn't die just yet. For that. BJ Logan 007, Q&A, the Walkers in the Train Part 1, do you think they are part of the missing people list? When Lance mentioned the train along with the paintings on the walls in Part 1, it made me think of it. I don't know. Like, there's a lot of things that make you think, like, are these Walkers part of, the list? Are they part of this? Are they part of that? I like the idea of it. I just don't know where they're going because it kind of has to be explained to us. It's got to be spelled out for us and said this and that and this is that. Just like, is CRM going to show up? I don't know. What do you think? But the fact is that we're running out of episodes, and so we have to see where it's going. So Maggie is able to break off the things around her wrist, the plastic zip ties. And you could do that, is what they say. When doing research on my book series, you could break out of zip ties. Some Navy SEAL person says you could just swing, go down hard and it breaks and it snaps. She looks to the person next to her. It's Father Gabriel. Across from her is Rosita. She basically frees them as she's going to jump off the back of the truck. The dude wakes up. Maggie and the Commonwealth trooper, fight. The Commonwealth trooper shoots the driver of the truck. They crash. One of the troopers flies through the window and lands on a tree, or lands in the tree and breaks his body or whatever. The other guy gets his face smashed against the steering wheel, and it's pretty cool stuff. But Maggie gets away out of the truck. As she's trying to get the rifle out of the front of the truck, the rest of the caravan comes, the Commonwealth caravan, and she gets away. But basically, Maggie, Daryl, Carol, Father Gabriel, Rosita, and Connie all get together towards the end of the episode. They all kind of meet up on there too. As Father Gabriel and Rosita are there in the woods, they're like asleep, I guess passed out. And Rosita wakes up just as a walker, a Commonwealth trooper that's a walker now, that some people thought was Mercer in the trailer. It's definitely not. We don't even see Mercer in this episode. We'll see him next week, probably protecting Max, and I would assume helping Spring Eugene. So we see that Rosita and Father Gabriel are trying to come up with a plan. They kill some walkers. They do this on there too. Rosita dislocates her shoulder, and the way they put it back in, it's not done right. You don't do it that way. You don't pull her arm down, put your foot or knee on her side and pull the arm. You just kind of rotate it back and it goes back into place. It's kind of not how you do it. Or like in Lethal Weapon, when Riggs is like, I got to put my shoulder, he like pops his shoulder out, gets out of the restraints and then puts it back in that way. It's for a dramatic effect. That's definitely not how you do that. I've actually had to put someone's shoulder back in place. I worked at the school gym when I was in PT school, and somebody was doing military presses, and I was walking there, and he ends up doing military press and drops the weight, and I actually had to help his shoulder go back in place, and it could have been really bad, but luckily it worked out and everybody was okay. I saw a question about Rosita, the guys that took Rosita. It's not really explained who they are, but I guess they were working for Pamela Milton and the people that were just kidnapping people and taking them away, and they end up dying like in one of the episodes with Daryl and Carol, and so that's basically what it was. Well, Rosita and Father Gabriel get their radios from different Commonwealth troopers, and they go away, and they end up meeting up with everybody else. Like I said, Carol, Daryl, Maggie, Connie, Rosita, and Rosita and Father Gabriel all are there. Eugene's locked up in jail, so awaiting trial next episode. It could have been kind of the callback to the guys that had the peach or whatever. Like threw the two people there too, because the shoulder was out of place and she was able to put it back in. But yeah, I could see where that was going with that. So then we see Maggie walking in the woods, and she sees this child walker. And it's the first child walker we've seen in a while. I think the last child walker we saw was Jeffrey Dean Morgan's son, Gus. In real life, he was the walker on the show. He gets his head stuck in the wall of Alexandria. And I think we haven't really seen too many child walkers. So Maggie sees the child walker. She freaks out because Herschel was taken. All the kids were taken. She worries about that. I don't know what's going to happen with CM Punk, John. I really don't know. If he comes back to WWE, that'd be cool, especially since Triple H is running things now. Why not, right? So the child walker, Maggie sees the walker, and she worries about Herschel. And I don't know how this one child walker got away, and was what hopefully is explained next episode or so, but it's not, in this episode at least. But Maggie picks up a rock, and she was going to take out the walker, And instead, she jukes the walker and then walks away from it. The walker follows her. Maggie comes across the train tracks. There's this Commonwealth trooper on a motorcycle, stops right by the train tracks where Maggie is. Perfect chance, right? So she goes down and hides. The guy's like, yeah, all clear. Everything looks good. Train looks good to go. All right, we're good. And blah, blah, blah. The walker, the child walker, comes towards the Commonwealth trooper. And Maggie comes in behind him. She grabs a rusty railroad tie and stabs him in like the armpit kind of thing. It's a terrible wound. It's actually probably one of the worst wounds you can have because you can have nerve damage and everything. It's a rusty railroad tie, so this guy's going to die for sure. So he gets like knocked out and whatever, and as Maggie's messing with the Commonwealth trooper guy fighting with him, the kid grabs Maggie by the hair. She turns around and she's like, like freaking out. And I understand it's a child walker and Herschel and all the other stuff like that she's thinking about, but it's over dramatic. It's overdone. It's just like, come on, all right. So she grabs the walker, and the child walker's like, like not even trying to get her. He's like wrapped up, like Maggie's like swaddling the kid, like, oh, I got you. You're okay. And then she kills the walker, the kid. And it's weird because she stabs the thing in the back of the head, but she clearly doesn't really go anywhere near the kid's head. I don't know, but the way it just looks off. And then as she's there, Daryl and Carol, who are in the Commonwealth the Jeep, and she goes, they all team up and do that, and they take the Commonwealth trooper back to this I don't know, storage container place thing or whatever, or container spot or whatever, and they try to get information out of him. So they're not really giving answers. He doesn't want to answer. He doesn't want to do anything. He doesn't want to give up any information. Daryl's like, you could do this the hard way or the easy way, or you could do this. You could die slow, or you could die in pain, or whatever. And so Father Gabriel actually comes around, and he recognizes the Commonwealth trooper guy. And he's like, hey, I know you from church. You sit in the back. You show up late, leave early, kind of a thing. And so the guy feels bad for what he's done. Father Gabriel, gets some information out of him. So they want information about the train. And they find the train, and they find the thing. And before that, Daryl and Carol see the train. And I don't know what they're doing with Connie, but they're bringing Connie. Yeah, you want to die quick? You want to die slow? That's what he says. Thank you, Pascal. But same kind of thing. You want to die quick, or you want to die easy, hard, quick, slow, whatever. So they bring Connie around, and Daryl sees Connie with the binoculars. And they're going to bring her to Designation 2. So what the heck is Designation 2? It's got to be CRM, right? So Designation 2 is only referred to as Designation 2. And that when they interrogate the Commonwealth trooper that they beat up and Maggie stabbed in the armpit kind of thing with the rusty railroad tie, he says that you go to Destination 2 and you never come back. So if that ain't CRM, I don't know what is, right? So I'm sure there's going to be a bunch of theories and a bunch of stuff coming out. Designation 2, is that CRM? Designation 2, it's got to be CRM, right? So it's definitely something. Well, I did not celebrate Eminem's birthday, but it's good to see Eminem having another birthday and still around. I did see him on Hard Knocks when it was the Detroit Lions, and he was pretty funny when he was coming around with the different things. Yeah, I can play for you guys. Suit me up. It was pretty funny. But so Daryl and Carol turn on the radio, and that's how they hear about Designation 2 and this and that and blah, blah, blah. It's never explained what it is. So they come to a point where they're trying to follow the train, and they have to. Daryl and Carol, they can't follow the train because the train goes this way and the road goes right. So Carol's like, just get ahead of it. So drive ahead of it. So Daryl drives the Jeep towards wherever they're going. They come across a part of the train tracks that need the thing to be switched because the train can go right or left. And I guess they needed to switch to go the right way. And so I'm guessing Carol or Daryl or both of them messed with the switch, blocked it, just caused a problem with it because the train stops before it can be switched. Even though, shouldn't somebody be there watching it? If it's a vital part of the train tracks, they should have a post set up there, watching it, monitoring it, and having it every so often, because they drove ahead to check the tracks and check that if there's a branch on it and stuff there too. So it's pretty dumb. But so the guy's like trying to fix it and trying to move it. And he's like, "Oh, what are you doing? It's easy, huh?" And then it's good to see the Commonwealth troopers like, give it back to each other and just not really be friendly with each other and be like, "Oh, it's just kind of what you would see probably." It's kind of like a locker room atmosphere, just a guys just giving it to each other, just being a ball busting and whatever. And so he's like, the guy tries to move it and it's not working. And the other guy comes back. He's like, "Oh, just easy, right? It's easy to do, right? Right?" Which was kind of cool to see. So then Daryl and Carol sneak up on the train and they come here while Maggie goes into the conductor area, and she gets a gun, points it at the conductor, and then ties him up and puts it there too. And they're trying to get the train is stopped, so it's not going anywhere. Daryl and Carol kind of set up a thing, this and that, and they eventually kill some of the Commonwealth troopers, and one of the guys uses Connie as a hostage. So Connie is able to get away and hit the gun away, and the guy smacks Connie and she falls down. Daryl checks Connie, "You okay? You okay?" So the Commonwealth trooper gets on a bike, the Commonwealth the motorcycles, and he drives away. Daryl's looking around. There's another bike on there. He drives it and goes after him. The camera was kind of weird. It was on top of the bike clearly, and it was like zoomed in on the Commonwealth trooper and also Daryl. It's just a little shaky and a little weird. And it's the part of the trailer where the Commonwealth trooper crashes his bike, is running. The stunt double, it's clearly Daryl's stunt double. It's not Norman Reedus. He slides the bike underneath the tree that goes down and knocks out the Commonwealth trooper, and then Daryl kills the Commonwealth trooper. So Connie is rescued, which is good. And they take the conductor back to where they had the other Commonwealth trooper that Daryl tried to interrogate and all that stuff. They talked about having a family and having this and having that. There's a map on the train, and there's a this and there. And so Maggie and Carol are taking the conductor guy away. And we don't see it happen, but the guy's like, "I have a family. They'll kill me. They know. They got this." And he has like a crowbar or a wrench or a screwdriver or something. It's hard to tell exactly what it is. And he's like pointing it towards his neck. And he says, "Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't kill yourself. No, we won't do that. We'll beat you up, and it'll look like you didn't help us at all. We won't hurt you. You can go back to your family. We don't want to hurt you at all." And he's like, "They're going to know," and kills himself. And you're like, what the? So he kills himself, and so they don't have a conductor for the train, and more problems with that. And then at the end of the episode is Rosita uses her knowledge of being a Commonwealth trooper, and she says, "Outpost 22, this is 301, come in, blah blah blah." And there's a voice on the radio, which my wife and I believe it's Yvette Nicole Brown, because she is credited in this episode, I believe. I could be wrong, but it's one of those things where it sounds like her voice more than anything. So they're talking about that the group of whatever hard laborers they call them are going to Outpost 22, which is Alexandria. The name of the episode is Outpost 22. So they go back to Alexandria, and you see that Negan's on the bus, and Ezekiel's on the bus, and the wheel's on the bus. No, and Kelly's on the bus. Annie, I don't think got on the bus. She was at another facility. But we'll see her next week, because in the trailer for it, we see Annie yell, "Negan!" And Negan's on the ground with his hands up, and the Commonwealth trooper has the gun over him. So I'm guessing that's when Oceanside shows up and saves the day. But we'll have to see, because Negan's going to have to be saved. We know that he is, because he has his own show with Maggie, so it makes really sense too. So Outpost 22, they go back to there. It's like, why would you bring people from Alexandria back to Alexandria? Like, they know the ins and outs kind of thing, and whatever. I don't know. But either way, that's how that kind of ends. But before that, like I said, it's Annie and Negan sitting next to each other on the bus. The red-haired guy that's all in black points to people to get off the bus. Annie has to get off the bus before Negan does. So at a different stop, a different location, a different whatever. So they're basically in charge, at least Negan's group is fixing or clearing off the railroad tracks and making it passable for the train to come around. And so we see Kelly, Ezekiel, and Negan all at the same spot. And there's only 3 Commonwealth troopers there. 3 people try to run away, and Kelly's like, look, we can run. There's only 3 of them. Let's get away. Let's just go. And Ezekiel's like, no, wait, don't do anything. As Negan asks one of the Commonwealth troopers a question about his wife and the location on there too, the Commonwealth trooper smacks Negan in the face with a crowbar or a baton or whatever it is. It's probably a baton. And then the 3 people run away in the woods, and they're killed by the Commonwealth troopers. So Ezekiel's like, look, see, don't go, Kelly. What are you doing? Stay here with us. So they're eating, and this is the first time I think we've seen Negan and Ezekiel interact. So Ezekiel's sitting down, and they're not allowed to use their names and talk and have conversations, is what they say. So Negan comes over after getting this white mushy paste oatmeal kind of thing in a weird container, and so they sit down, and Negan sits down behind Ezekiel, and he's like, don't turn around. We got to get on the same page. And Ezekiel's like, look, I've been avoiding you for all that's happened, right? And I've been avoiding you on purpose, which is good to see. And it's good to have that. Negan did this. You don't like this guy. You can coexist, but I don't want to be around you for what you did. You killed my people. You killed this. You did that. You hurt a lot of people on there too. And Negan owns it. He's like, I haven't forgotten either. I probably deserve all that's happening to me. But you know who doesn't? My wife and my child. They don't deserve any of this, right? So that's the thing where it's good to see. And then they got to get back to work. And Negan asks Ezekiel, are you with me? Yeah, I'm with you. So then they work and they do whatever they got to do. And then they go to back on the bus. And then they go to Alexandria. And this is what it is too. Fenny Fen, welcome to Level 1 PT Peeps. Very cool, very cool. Thank you, Fenny Fen. Members, it helps the channel out. It's a I guess a monthly thing that comes up for becoming a PT Peep. There's 3 different levels, and I thank you, Fenny Fen, for becoming a member. I appreciate it. It's definitely always something good and helpful for the channel, and it's something that really makes the channel. It doesn't go unnoticed. That's for sure. Jonathan Wilder, what if Alfred Hitchcock met Negan? I don't know how that would go. I mean, Alfred Hitchcock was like back in the day. Negan is a man of today. So I don't know how that's really going to go. Henry Limone, who do you think will get the kill on Pamela? I don't know. I don't know if Pamela's going to actually die or not too. So I don't know how that really is going to go down, because, there are going to be some differences. The comic is the comic and the show is the show for sure. So next week's episode, if I can remember the trailer, Daryl and his group, Carol, Maggie, Rosita, Father Gabriel, and Connie, know that the group went to Alexandria. So I think that they go to Alexandria. Negan gets in trouble trying to help Annie, because he wants to protect his wife. We see that the trial with Eugene and Yumiko is going to start. We see Mercer finally. Mercer hasn't been in the past 2 episodes. And, that's what I'm kind of thinking about too. Like, I don't really know that much of the other trailer that really was said highlighting, episode 22. But the big thing about it is, so like you said, we're going to have the trial left with Eugene and Yumiko. So is Eugene going to be found guilty, and then they have to break him out? And something has to happen where Eugene isn't, it doesn't sit well with the community, I'm guessing. Right? The verdict doesn't fit the crime or whatever. He just didn't go kill Sebastian. He was protecting Max, and he was doing this and that. And yes, the whole thing with the radio, and he owned it, and he pleaded guilty or whatever. He owns up to what happened. So he's willing to take the fall for it. We haven't seen the kids yet. So I don't know what happened with Herschel and whatever. Maybe they're at Alexandria already. That would be the easiest thing, is that they're already at Alexandria. So when Maggie and such is there, or I don't know, they'll end up meeting there too. Oceanside needs to show up at some point. We know that Luke shows up. We know that he is there. And the last time we thought about him or saw him or whatever, he was connected with Oceanside. So, and then we got to see what happens with Aaron, Jerry, Elijah, and Lydia. Where are they? Like, it would take, I feel like, so in the episode when they went to the medieval festival, Renaissance place, it was day. Then it went to night, and then they left, right? So when we saw Carol and Daryl, it was during the day. When they killed Lance, it was at night. And then there was the next day. So is that where they're at the next day? Like, is that timeline we're supposed to think? It's not really explained, but hopefully we'll see Aaron and Jerry and other two. So the other theory that I had so far is like no one died in episode 21 besides the Walker kid and some Commonwealth troopers. No one else died. So in episode 22, so we lost Sebastian in episode 18. We lost Lance in episode 20. Well, he had an arrow in the neck, so I'm assuming he's dying. And episode 22 is next week. So is it 18, 20, 22, and 24? Does Rosita die in 23, 24? Does this person die in 23, 24? Does, Aaron or whatever die in 22, 23, 24? Like, whoever died, like, I'm guessing whoever. I mean, if that's what happens. I don't know. Does Annie die? Does this happen? Does Tommy die? I don't know, right? So I think episode 22 is going to be a big episode. 23 will probably be the war. Or the battle. I keep calling it the war. But the battle. And then the person getting injured that Daryl is carrying will go into episode 24. And that's the last episode, which is in November 20th. So in a month, guys, in less than a month, because in a month from today, it's November 23rd. We'll be getting ready for Thanksgiving, which is the 24th. So a month from tomorrow. The Walking Dead is over. The Walking Dead will be over in less than a month. That's crazy. So I'm really hoping that sorry, Diana Glenmar. Yeah, the stuff about episode 22 is Alexandria. That you'll go in. We'll go back into Alexandria. We'll see more of that. The trial of Eugene is in episode 22, I believe, at least from the trailer. The stuff with we'll see Mercer and I guess Max as well, and because if you think about the trailer, the Comic-Con trailer, we know that Maggie and Negan are talking next to the white bus inside Alexandria. So I guess they take back Alexandria, and Maggie says that at the end of episode 21 that they we're going to take back Alexandria, and Pamela Milton doesn't know who she's messing with. No, she says they underestimated them since the beginning. It would have been great if they're like, the Commonwealth doesn't know who they're messing with. Throwback to Terminus. Come on, Angela Kang, give me that Terminus throwback. What are you doing? No, I'm just kidding. But it's funny that you can have, like, you should be having moment after moment after episode after moment after things, callbacks after callbacks. Like in these, how many episodes, right? We're running out of stories. We're running out of episodes. We're running out of The Walking Dead main show. But it's just crazy to think that, The Walking Dead is ending, but it's not. Like, you watched, so whatever, Breaking Bad. And I would be like, hey, well, the way it ended, you were like, okay, what's next for Jesse? We knew what was next for Walt, but what was happening for Jesse? And then we got El Camino, the movie, which was kind of cool. And then we went the prequel stuff with Better Call Saul into what happened after with Saul, which was a good way of doing things. But Breaking Bad ending, it was like an ending. It was a legit ending. Will The Walking Dead there? Yeah, at the beginning, yeah. the newbie, like the guy says it on there too. It's like a beginning or whatever. I was like, oh, that's a nice callback. And I love those callbacks too. I love the callbacks. And I think we all do too. I think everybody loves the callbacks. You're like, oh, that was so-and-so. Or now who said that? Oh, I remember that. Remember this. Remember that. And it's cool too. Michael Singer says, I love we got Christian McCaffrey. Go Niners. Yeah, I mean, the 49ers are a good team on paper. Will it work? Will Jimmy G really do well? Christian McCaffrey is a great talent. Back in California. He played in Stanford, so it works very well on paper. But we don't play on paper. We play on the field. Constipated in Sin City. PT. Lydia is the girl who played Logan's daughter. What do you mean? Like Logan the movie? That was X-23? Because that's a different actress. But, so, I'll give you an update of my book series, guys. So, the book is written. I have it. Lydia Cassidy McClincy is not in Logan, the movie. It's a different actress. So, Fight for Us, The Island will be out later this year. I just finished my edit of Chapter 5. It's 18 chapters. So by the page count, I'm a little more than a quarter of the book done. I have the book, I have the chapters written, I have the titles, I got the cover done on there too. You can check it out on Instagram and Facebook. But yeah, it's coming along very well. I'm taking my time to make sure this is done right. And I'm super excited for this book because a lot of stuff happens in it. And I wonder if that's how people write like the comics, like Walking Dead comics or the show. They're excited to see how it goes down on there as well. Some things are better than others. Some things are not. You're more excited for other. Like, and then there's got to be filler. There's got to be story. There's got to be stuff that's just, just set up for. That's what this last episode and this episode feels like setup stuff. And if CRM is not designation 2, if we don't see some major connections with, I don't know, if we don't have major connections with them, what are we doing? And I've said it before at the beginning. I'm like, what are we doing with the CRM connection? Like, I don't know about you. I like to have everything kind of wrapped up and stuff just come together. We don't like plot holes. We don't like loose ends. If we can avoid it. And if you're a writer or something, if you control it, you can avoid it. It's probably, if you paint yourself in a corner or write yourself in a corner, it'd be kind of tough too. Fenny Fan, have you wrote anything else? I wrote a couple. I wrote a physical therapy book, or I think 2 different physical therapy books. I wrote In 100 Days, part 1, 2, and 3. So 3 different parts, but that's a prequel start to Fight for Us. And then the Fight for Us series is my series right now. I have ideas for other books too, and I write it down. It's just one of those things where I'm just trying to think about it, focus on my Fight for Us series right now, and then possibly go into a couple different series as well. Or at least a book, Carol, hey Carol, how we doing? Q&A, will you concentrate on your books after The Walking Dead ends? Yeah, I mean, I've always wanted to have 20 books, and the idea is to have 20 books. So book 17 is The Island. I have ideas for books 18, 19, and 20, and then I want to see where I want to go after the 20 books are written for the series. That's for sure. Oh, the other show I watched, my wife and I watched, is on Amazon. It's called The Peripheral, I think, and it's a book that I didn't read, but Amazon tells you, hey, you want to read the book? Because that's pretty smart of Amazon to have books that do well on Amazon and whatever, and then make a series, and then, hey, you want to buy the book? Hey, check out the series. You want to buy the series? Hey, buy the book, It's with that Chloe something, the one from Kick-Ass. I like her. I think she's a good actress, and it's a weird concept, but I like it a lot. It's cool. One of the guys from The Walking Dead is in it. The guy that was with Tyrese and the baby from Terminus. He's there. He kind of plays like a dick, a guy, it's kind of his MO. But he's in it. It's a small part. I've only seen the first episode, so we'll see where it goes. But it's kind of a cool concept with having this set up in a gaming universe, but it's affecting stuff or whatever. It's kind of weird. Like you're in the game, virtual reality kind of thing. It's kind of hard to explain, but if you kind of like that stuff, if you liked Ready Player One, it's similar. It's not the same by any means, but it's a similar concept. I don't know how to say it, but definitely check out The Peripheral on Amazon. Like I said, I only saw the first episode and I enjoyed it. And it's like set in the future. I think it was 2032 or something. And then it starts in 2099 in London or something. So it's definitely cool. But I definitely recommend it for sure as a cool little series, different stuff. If you're looking for something to watch as well. So The Watcher and The Peripheral, 2 different shows. The Watcher is on Netflix. The Peripheral is on Amazon too. So there you go, guys. Let me see Jonathan Wilder. Last question, Q&A. What if Rick and the gang passed Alexandria and went to Washington? Then they probably would have went to a Washington community. I think their always plan was to go to a community like Alexandria was a big community for them to do it too. Diana Glenmeyer, Q&A, Bri, you're banging out the books out. Ever get writer's block? Yes and no. Sometimes, I wouldn't say I ever get writer's block, but some things are definitely easier to write than others. Like some books, I was done right away. Some chapters, I'm like, man, that chapter went really quick. Because a lot of my chapters are, 12. Some chapters are 10. Like at the end, sometimes some of the last chapters of the books, like chapter 18, were like 10 or 11 pages. The majority of the chapters are 12, 13, or 14 pages. And sometimes it flows really well, and then I go and write. I'm like writing, end that chapter, go right into the next chapter, and write a couple pages, and then I stop. But now I'm doing the editing stuff, and as I'm driving around, I think because it's like I guess it's the Walking Dead kind of universe stuff. I think about my series because it's set in Tampa Bay, and I live in Tampa Bay, so it's easy to have my idea. And I drive around a lot for work, so I'm driving and I'm thinking about, oh, that's a good place. Or what if this happened? Or what if this construction happened here? Or what if this group came out of here? Or what if they set up a trap? Or what if this happened? Or if I'm driving there? Or what if, I just visualize certain characters or certain things going through it. And then I just picture it there too. And then I have pieces of paper, like blank pieces of paper or like note stuff in my car. So when I'm stopped at a red light or stopped there, I write stuff down so I remember it. That's another thing I have is have a notebook, pen and paper, notepad, whatever, to write stuff down. Because you'll forget, like, oh, what was that thing I thought about with the walkers and the group and chains or something? What was that thing I thought about? What was that? Oh, man. And then I go and I have it written down so I can think about it too. And then you can move on with your day because you got it written down too. And last question, Sanel, Q&A, do you think Rick will be in post-credit last episode, similar to Variant Walker and World Beyond? I do. I've said it time and time again. I hope there's more than one post-credit scene. So I hope that we get a Rick scene, a Dead City scene, and a Daryl scene. Would be awesome too. So Beverly Morton PT is book number 1 called Fight for Us. Well, yeah, the whole series is called Fight for Us. The Fight for Us, you can actually look in the description of this live stream, but also all of my videos. They have the order of the book series. The first book is called Fight for Us, and it's called The Beginning is the first book of the series on there as well. But you can get that on Amazon. It's an Amazon book for sure. But all right, guys, that's my hour. I went a little bit over, and it's always good too. So I'm excited to see what you guys' thoughts are of the episode for tonight and then tomorrow. I'm excited for it. Yeah, Lindsay Robb. So at the PT channel, what is the name of bookmark for new readers? It's Fight for Us. So I'll put it right here. So Fight for Us like this, and then is that. So it's the beginning, and it's Fight for Us is the title of it for that too. So of course, Lindsay, thank you, Kami, thank you everybody for being a part of this live stream. I'll be back next Sunday to talk about episode 22 and anything else that comes up. I'm excited to see. Hopefully, so Fenny Fen, the books are a zombie apocalypse story. Some people people who didn't read the story, they're like, you copied The Walking Dead, you copied The Walking Dead, you stole from The Walking Dead. You didn't read the book then, because it's definitely different. It's set in the future. It has nothing to do with The Walking Dead besides little Easter eggs, little things here and there, but it has nothing to do with it. It's a drastically different story on purpose. It's my take on the zombie apocalypse with fictional people like myself, my wife, my dad, my friends, my cats, all that stuff too are in it. And also some people from here are in it too. It's always cool stuff. But thank you guys for being a part of the live stream. I'll be back next Sunday, which will be, right before Halloween. But be safe. And remember, guys, with hard work, dedication, belief, and sacrifice, you can truly achieve your goals. Believe in yourself. You can do it. It's about love, support, staying positive, making memories. Keep working hard. You can actually achieve things in life. You can. It's not easy. If it was easy, no matter what it is, everybody would do it. But thank you, guys. I truly appreciate all the love and support.